Hello there. Tonight we're going to be using my Maggard Purple Swirl synthetic. It's a beautiful brush, 24mm Plisson type knot. And the shaving cream tonight that we're going to be using is O Bigelow. Basically Barbasol green. And it's lovely stuff. I've got several tubes of it because it's lovely stuff. And all I'm going to do is just take a little bit of that on my finger there. What I think is, and I love the smell of it, the mentholated smell of it, the appropriate amount of cream. And I've got my brush wet. I'm just going to stick it right in there in my brush. And then we're going to move down and start the shave. But I have at least 2, maybe 3 tubes of this in my den. I had several more, but given away a couple, I think, because this is a really wonderful cream to start with as a shaver, a wet shaver. A lot of guys about to start using O Bigelow and or Barbasol green, whichever. The O Bigelow is always, or it has been always, available at Bath and Body Works, I think it is. But I mean, Barbasol is available everywhere. All the online vendors have it. But the O Bigelow, the big thing it had going for it and has going for it for me is that I can buy it locally. I don't have to order it through the mail. I don't have to come up with, not through the mail, but yeah, well, through the mail, but online. I don't have to come up with a bunch of different other stuff that I want to buy at the same time to try to save on shipping or whatever. I can just go down to Bath and Body Works and buy a tube of O Bigelow and be done with it. And that is a plus for me. So I've always used it and probably always will as long as it's available. Tonight we're going to shave with my Rolls razor. I try to rotate all of my stuff as much as possible. But sometimes things get forgotten. And the rolls, it's not really forgotten, but it sits on my counter and not with my other razors. And so I don't always reach for it like I would if it was sitting amongst my other shavers. So that's the way it goes. When I took it out the little bar here, which is like a safety bar, it goes down there just like the safety bar on a regular DE. This is more like a straight razor on a stick kind of deal. And it's just a lovely little shaver. Really cool to have. It gives a pretty good shave too. if worst came to worst and I could no longer afford DE blades, or you couldn't find them, and I was unable to, for some reason, to use my straights, and the only thing that I had left was this roll. I could keep shaving. I could just keep right on shaving. No problems whatsoever. I need to go to the antiques dealer here in town. He had some of these at one point. I think he had one that wasn't complete. It was missing a handle. But the hone and the strop were intact, and the blade was intact. And I really need to go down and grab that one. See, the angle on this is even very much a straight razor angle. But it's a lovely razor. But I could easily shave with this. As long as the honing and stropping parts remained operational. My hands are trembling really bad. Bless you guys. It's aggravating. But it's not going to beat me. It's not going to stop me. It's the way that works. Right hand's not quite as bad, thank God, as the left hand, but I'm a two-handed shaver. Excuse me a minute. Need to get me a clean washcloth. I'm a two-handed shaver. That's whether we're talking a SE, a DE, a straight, or whatnot. That's the way that I shave, lovely. I'll need a little touch up on the chin probably, but that's all right. Love the Maggard brush. Love the Plisson type knot. There's nothing like this knot. Sorry, you guys, with all your other knots. And look, don't get me wrong. The Mueller knot is a fantastic knot. The Uber Soft is a fantastic knot. I'm not knocking them. I have them. And I love them. But this Plisson type knot, in the Plisson handle or in something like this, is just, for me, the finest, the best rather, of all the synthetic knots. And I absolutely Adore it. Lovely. That's a lovely shave, man. How in the world? It takes a bit to negotiate the chin on that upward stroke. That's not the razor's fault. It comes down to the guy using it and learning the technique and getting more. Familiar with it. And that just takes time and practice. If I stuck with this for a week, I'd probably nail it and never have to worry about it again, but lovely. But I have so many wonderful razors, and I seldom want to shave. Beautiful, with the same one over and over and over again. Lovely. Beautiful. Alright, beautiful shave. Just as good as any of my straights or DEs or SEs, other SEs. Lovely. I'm experimenting with this razor as far as honing goes. Using the hone that comes with it. I'll show you a little bit about what I'm doing here in a second. But I want to cold water on the towel on that last rinse as normal. I want to dry my face off and apply some aftershave. We're using Barbasol's Pacific Rush, to which I have added more menthol. Because every time the question is asked, I'm always going to go, more menthol, please. What a silly question. Of course. But anyway, what I've been doing, those of you that know the razor, the blade goes in here, and you, come here, you pull it back and forth. This is the strop here, but you flip it over, It's hollow like this. It's strap on one side, and on this side, on the other side, it has a hone. Now this hone is probably, I don't know, I'd probably be pushing it to say that it was 6K. It's like an Arkansas stone, almost, I believe. But the instructions for the roll say hit it about 60 times and then drop it about 60 times. I have honed on this about 400 times on that edge to bring it back, and it came back. And you just saw I shaved with it really well. But what I've been doing recently is taking lapping film and cutting it to size and slide it up under these little, you see these little tabs that hold the stone in? Well, the lapping film, if you work it right, I'm having a hard time doing it now, but it slides up under there. There we go. Kind of like that. And you just put it back in the frame, and you do, this is the 1 micron lapping film, and you do your finishing laps on this. And what I'm thinking about doing is coming back with like 0.05, not 0.05, but 0.5 lapping film, or I'm sorry, 5 micron lapping film, 3 micron lapping film, and then the 1 micron, and hone on this surface just like I used to do with regular lapping film on a straight razor. So that I can try to hone it. I'm trying to put the thing back together and talk to you at the same time. But anyway, so that I can hone it and keep the angle that the thing needs to keep the right bevel on the razor. I've seen guys try to do it with layers of tape and all, but if I can put it in this machine, in this contraption, in this frame where it's made to go, then I don't see any reason not to try that. Then I'll hopefully be able to report back to you guys at a later date what that accomplished. But I'm going to try that and see if I can actually hone that right there on this stone and get it even sharper. So, well, that's the shave. I hope you enjoyed spending the time with me. Sorry I rambled on about that and all of that, but just wanted to kind of share that with you, the idea that I'm working on, just to see if I can do it. So God bless you, and I'll talk to you later.